Hey Crestwood, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well this morning, having a good start to your day and a good week so far. We're making our way through August, which is this month of transition in a lot of ways. That's kind of what I want to talk about this morning. So honored to bring this devotional for this Wednesday, August 9th today. So thinking about the transitions that happen during this month, especially related to school, starting to see the back to school pictures that are posted by families on social media. And so amazing to see how the kids have grown over the years and grown even since the beginning of summer. It's hard to believe that kids that just seemed a few days ago to be crawling are now going into third grade and making their way through the ranks. It's just so cool to see. And then also starting to hear from parents who are taking their kids to college, either going back or even for the first time, and reliving very vividly for me all the emotions that go with dropping your kid off at school, especially if it's in another city or another state. And even when Molly went back to Grinnell for her second year just a few days ago, I felt that same pull of emotions again. I guess as a parent that never goes away. But just the reminder that transitions bring with them all kinds of emotions and all kinds of struggles, some that catch you by surprise, some you don't even recognize. But, the axiom is the only constant is change, and that's certainly true for life. It seems like we have very little times where things are stable, things are going the way we want them to go. We're not facing any unexpected surprises. More often than not, life just feels like a lot of series of changes that take place. That's true if you have kids, but it's true if you don't have kids, because there are health crises that we face or things going on with other family members. And when we think things are stable, then we're thrown into this time of change. And this time of change, this time of transition, can really be disorienting for us. It can sort of unmoor us from the things that anchor us in life. And we can oftentimes feel alone, like we aren't grounded, and like we don't have the support we need because we feel like we're the only ones going through this transition. And that just stirs up so much pain, so many feelings, so many emotions that we deal with. And so I want to remind us this morning of God's promises. God promises presence. God promises to be with us at all times, in all places, no matter where we go, whether it's into the operating room or into the funeral home or into a lawyer's office or into a job interview. God is with us in the midst of that. And I think that's so important for us to remember, because it is so easy to feel isolated when we're going through changes. God only promises presence. God promises us provision. God will provide for us what we need to make it through this transition. Support of friends or help of professionals, whatever it is, God's not going to leave us to our own devices to figure that out. Because when we are left to our own devices, it usually doesn't go too well, does it? But when we lean on what God provides for us during that, it reminds us that God is always with us. And then I think of the power of prayer in the midst of our transitions, to pray for God to make clear God's presence, to make clear God's provision for us, to remind us that we are not alone. I was thinking of the words from Deuteronomy, where Moses says to Joshua that says, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So do not be afraid and do not be discouraged." And I like the word discouraged because it means to not have courage, right? If you are encouraged, you are full of courage. If you are discouraged, then you lose that courage. And the reminder of God's presence and God's provision for us should give us the courage to face our transitions. Doesn't mean we won't feel the emotions. Doesn't mean it won't be difficult for us in these time of transitions. But it does mean that we can have confidence that we can make it through this transition and that God will be with us as we go through it. I think of folks dropping their kids off at school for the first time, dropping their kids off at college in another city or state. I think of people going through rehab or other sort of health crises. These are all times of transitions. But the promise we're given is God is with us and God provides for us. And so because of that, not only should we not be afraid, we should be encouraged. We should have the courage to make it through that transition because we know we are not alone, but that God walks with us through it. So Crestwood, whatever transition you're facing in your life, whatever transition is yet to come, remember, don't be discouraged, but be encouraged because God is with you. Your church family is with you. Your ministerial staff are with you. We are all here for you as you're going through what you're going through. Let us know how we can be God, embody God's presence with you as you do that. Don't be discouraged, Crestwood. God bless you.